It's summer, if you haven't heard. But if you haven't figured out what the defining vibe of your summer is yet in July, what are you even doing? But no, it's okay, because I haven't either. I have no idea what the vibe, what the imagery, what the mood of my summer 2024 is. I have absolutely no idea. However, I have observed on social media that everyone else seems to be defining their summer vibe, very much making lists of the ins and outs, the ways of dressing, the ways of feeling for summer 2024. And I'm going to be honest, I have felt a little left out in this process. I felt I want to have a vibe to my summer too. I want to know before I actually experience the summer exactly how it's going to feel. Why do I not have this? And now I feel like I need to give some background for the uninitiated into this summer vibes question, concern, and essentially this idea of naming the vibe of your summer. I don't know if this has always been around, but it's something that I have decidedly observed in the past several years. So in the past, we had hot girl summer, which I certainly did not participate in. We had, I think maybe something tomato girl summer last year, which was kind of Mediterranean vibes to the summer, giving way to one of this year's main summer categories, which would be Euro summer. Think, European Riviera vibes, French Riviera, if you will, something like that, as well as, and I think maybe the real defining vibe, the one that will be remembered for generations to come, is this summer. The summer of 2024, I have heard, is brat summer. Again, for the uninitiated, this is referring to the recent Charlie XCX album Brat. And Brat Summer is supposed to embody sort of a clubby, messy vibe. You're confident, but you maybe have breakdowns. You're pretty emotional, but you're gonna party through it. That's Brat Summer. That's the Brat Summer vibe. This comes along with the aesthetic, we're thinking white tank tops, little sunglasses, maybe messy hair, maybe cigarettes, we're talking club drinks, we're talking club vibes. That's supposed to be the vibe of this summer, the defining vibe of this summer of 2024. And I fear that I am not experiencing, first of all, not that, and I'm also not experiencing its counterpart, Euro summer. So I just come to ask myself, well, what kind of summer am I having? Should I be having a summer? Should I be naming it now? And this is my attempt, maybe, first of all, to figure out why I feel this way about summer this year, and also maybe to come up with a name for this summer of 2024. Because you see, I've had other summers, and in the past, we didn't really name the summers. The summers happened, you made choices, you did things, and then the vibe of the summer would be more developed in hindsight. But with each summer now taking on its defining vibe and character and imagery, I needed to ask myself, what's happening? What does it mean? And can I have a summer with a name too? Now, of course, this naming of seasons based on seasonal trends is nothing new. Fashion houses have for time immemorial, or rather since the 1800s, been putting out their collections for spring, summer, fall, winter. Also, sometimes for the resort and pre-fall seasons, which I did not know before I researched this. And ultimately, I'm not claiming to be a fashion historian or a fashion expert, but I think, it's kind of pertinent to the conversation about seasons and definitions of trends for seasons. And if I were to hazard a guess, I would say that our cultural relationship to fashion and trends and being up to date is shifting. While big fashion brands like Gucci are in fact paring down the number of fashion seasons they put out each year, allegedly in the interest of sustainability, the pace of trends is only picking up. It could almost look like a democratization of style if it weren't for the fact that the summer's trends still have their roots in major label music marketing or a desire to emulate the lives of the rich and famous. So what this defining of summer vibes ends up being, ultimately, predictably, is, a way to fuel consumption, of course. It's a way to convince people that in order to have the type of desirable summer that everyone else seems to be having, you have to have certain things, you have to wear certain things, that you can only project the certain energy that you need to project if you own the things that define this summer vibe. And that is, of course, quite negative, and probably like the most troubling thing about this seasonal definition cycle that we're in is that every season then people will maybe feel more pressure to purchase certain things. And I've also talked like kind of positively here on this channel about like the idea of aesthetics and how aesthetics aren't, in my opinion, are not a bad thing. Aesthetics can, again, be purely for fun, can be purely for entertainment, that, you know, maybe they can even connect people who like the same things. Like, I think that's true. I think, though, this, like, seasonal definition aesthetic conversation is a little bit different because it is requiring us to change each season what we want and who we're trying, I guess, collectively to be. And I think also like that kind of like each season we must like do this, we must wear this, we must embody this. I think it does kind of like squash a little bit of individuality there as well. Like when everyone feels like, oh, I have to like have a certain type of summer. Not everyone. Like, I guess internet girls or girls who are online feel this pressure to like do a certain thing, embody a certain type of summer. Like, yeah, that's not great. But like, of course, also like everyone isn't doing this. Like, I don't even know why I'm saying, like, I'm making it sound like everyone is doing this because they're not. But anyway, all that being said though, I also get completely how this is all just for fun. Like, defining a summer vibe, making lists of the ins and outs for that vibe, like it's entertainment. It really is entertainment. And I certainly have been entertained by all of this. And I'm not like blaming the list makers of the ins and outs for brat summer or Euro summer or whatever summer you're having. It's all in the spirit of good fun, isn't it? But also this act of defining seasons, assigning labels to seasons, saying that this is brat summer or this is Euro summer and it's going to look like this and it's going to feel like this and I'm going to wear these things. It feels to me almost like trying to force a feeling, to try to say, I want to have this type of feeling in my life, whether that's a feeling of the freedom of being at the club or, I don't know, the sophistication and the calm of being in a yacht on the Mediterranean. You know, like it's trying to kind of force that feeling that you are in a different reality from your actual reality, to say that if I possess this set of desired objects, I will have the life that I desire. I will be able to embody the person I want to be. And at the end of the day, though, it seems like those objects are never actually going to really give you that feeling. And I think ultimately what it comes down to is that all of this summer definition is about escape. Maybe that's escape from the mundanity of your day-to-day 9 to 5 existence. It might be to try on a new character, a new persona. Because also, I don't necessarily see people really truly embodying these summer aesthetics that they claim to want to embody. I think it's more that it gives people the hope that they could. It gives people the hope that through consumption of these products, they will be able to be a different type of person. They will be able to live a different type of life. But at the end of the day, your life just kind of remains the same. And ultimately, can I please get to have a summer too? A named summer. I want my named summer. Okay, so I figured it out. It's existential anxiety summer for me. That's the name of my summer vibe. Isn't that wonderful? Existential anxiety summer. So this is a kind of existential anxiety that seems to really run the gamut from that kind of 3-4 a.m. wake up, awash in horror over the fact that I'm in my 30s and wondering how has so much time passed from when I last took stock of my age and was perfectly satisfied with it. Now I'm this whole different age and this whole different decade, which is supposed to mean all these different things. And one, am I prepared for it? And two, is it all really over for me? And then in addition to this anxiety over my immense age, I also am feeling a lot of, kind of climate anxiety, geopolitical conflict anxiety, and I know this existential anxiety summer is not the fun vibe that we are looking for in a summer, especially not in an escapist summer vibe, but this is the best I've got. So what I did do, though, is I came up with my starter pack of essentials for having your very own existential anxiety summer in the hope that it can help you if you, too, are finding yourself deep in the pits of anxiety. So first on the list, my first item is information sheet for a super cheap, literally crumbling Victorian home in my hometown that would require probably several hundreds of thousands of dollars of repairs, though. And so even though it is super cheap and maybe almost in the realm of something I could almost afford a down payment on, I probably can't really afford it. But it's not really about the house itself. It's about the dream of the house. And so since this house went on the market a couple of months ago, I have toured it twice. I have thought extensively about what I would do with every single room in the house. I have sat at my parents' kitchen table with a couple of glasses of wine and this information sheet, and I've just thought about it. I've just fantasized about what the world would be if I owned this house. I thought about growing my own vegetables in the back garden. I thought about putting solar shingles on the roof, so in the event that society does collapse, hopefully I can, generate my own electricity. Now, as I think about this home, though, it's not only for me. It's not really only about me. It's also about the vision of kind of creating a community hub, a place where people could stay who might need a place to stay. It's actually quite a beautiful vision, and you would think this kind of thinking would exacerbate the anxiety, the existential anxiety, but in fact I think it kind of helps to kind of reduce the existential anxiety. In fact, it helps me feel that I have a sense of agency in what's going to come next in life and in the world until I remember the several hundreds of thousands of dollars of repairs that this home needs, and remember that, actually there's no way that I could actually afford that in my current state. But it's still a fun thing to think about. The second item on my list, now I don't have a visual aid for this one because it's a bike. You're gonna need a bike, and you're gonna need access to the outdoors. Either a trail, preferably a trail through the woods would be ideal, but a park would do in a pinch. If you only have access to a park would work great. But basically take that bike out, ride it for at least an hour on the trail, through the woods, by the river, whatever. It's very nice. It really helps with the anxiety. And I think this is also a really funny one for me because I never have thought of myself as a nature person. I'm never one of those people who's oh, just go into nature, that'll solve your problems. But this summer that really truly has proven to be my contemplative, meditative space. I love it. I am obsessed with riding my bike along the trail, and it does make me feel temporarily less existentially anxious. Third, it's actually, in fact, the only true product that you can purchase on my existential anxiety summer essentials list, and that is new age skincare products to stem the flow of the aging tide and to potentially allow you to maintain a semblance of youth for a little longer, but maybe it doesn't. Who knows if it even works. And also it's I would imagine more environmentally friendly and healthier than just slathering a bunch of chemicals on my face. So I'm particularly showing you this chaga mushroom salve from a little kind of organic-y, kind of witchy skincare store, again, in my hometown, and I love it. I've been slathering it on my face every night. I think it works pretty well. I do understand that my eyes look a bit sunken right now, but the existential anxiety does keep me up at night. But overall, I feel hopefully relatively youthful. I don't know. please don't say anything if I don't look youthful. I'd rather not hear it. even though maybe that would be like the cherry on top of my existential anxiety summer, wouldn't it? That's what I got as number 3 on my list. This is not a long list. You're not gonna have to sit through this for much longer. And number 4, I think this is gonna be like my last item on the list, is an amulet. Got this one right there. Now, I don't know if this is an actual amulet, but my parents got it for me when they went to Greece, and I at first thought, oh, pretty necklace, I like it. And then we went to Turkey last year, and I noticed like these like evil eye amulets all over, you know, fend off the evil eye that you don't want that getting to you, do you? So, and then I looked again at this necklace and I'm like, it's from like the same kind of general region, and it kind of looks like those Turkish evil eye amulets. So I decided in my mind that this was also going to be an evil eye amulet, even though it may well not be. But I think by believing that it is, and believing that it can protect me from the evil eye, it will in fact do precisely that. And now, I guess, like, I don't really have here, like, a good thesis statement or conclusion to this whole summer vibes contemplation, reflection, whatever. I'm just, like, chatting here. I don't really have a lot to say about it more. If I have one takeaway message from exploring this topic for the past, like, several days, I would say it is that the summer vibes thing is fundamentally an act of escape. And in my selection of existential anxiety summer, I chose not to escape. But now that I think about it, I'm like, maybe I would have had a lot more fun and a lot better of a summer if I just like gone and done a brat summer instead. And like maybe there's still time